welcome to Eco's Diary. Of course, you're right in time for matters discussion on environment. Of course, we try as much as possible to provide solutions to different matters that affect the environment, of course, leading to climate change or the different climate crises that the world is facing. And of course, this evening our focus is on upcycling textile waste, of course, to save the environment. As you can see, the studio today looks a little bit different, but it is for the better of environment. And on set today, I am with the team from Africa Collect Textiles. So that is Whitney and Alex. Whitney, we start with you. Just feel free to introduce yourself.
My name is Whitney Speak. I am the communications manager at Africa Collect Textiles.
My name is Alex Musembi. I'm one of the co-founder of Africa Collect Textiles.
All right, and it's nice to have you here. Of course, we look forward to you explaining to us and explaining to our viewers what exactly we are seeing in studio this evening. I'll just start with you, Alex. When you're talking of textile upcycling, of course, we know of the 3 R's. That is recycle, reuse, and of course, reducing, yeah? But when we are talking of this upcycling, what exactly do we mean by upcycling textiles?
Upcycling textiles means transforming textile from one form to another. That's like in layman's language, what it means.
And are we talking of, like, is it any form of textile, or what exactly, what materials are we looking at?
We're talking about the materials from post-consumer goods or textiles. That means from the clothing or from our clothes.
Yeah. All right, and to you now, Whitney, of course, there is so much in studio, and of course, you do this from just upcycling, of course, as Alex puts it, to save the environment. So why would you say you came up with such a project?
I joined the organization last year in November, and from my interaction with Alex, and he explained about the effects that mostly second-hand clothes have on the environment. As we know, like as of, I think, is it 2020, Africa imported around 1.4 million tons of second-hand clothes, and you find that a third of it is actually waste. So from what they were able to explain to me was that fashion industry is amongst the biggest contributors of environmental pollution, and what Africa Collect Textile is actually putting in place is infrastructures that are centered on solving, like providing an actual and viable solution to this big menace, to this big problem that we have here. Yes.
All right, and just talking of the statistics that, of course, you've put across in terms of the fashion industry contributing to the climate crisis, I would just like to read, that is statistics from the UNEP, that is United Nations Environmental Program, as far as the textile industry is concerned. And according to the UNEP statistics, that is every year, 460 billion worth of clothes that can be still be worn are discarded. And according to the same statistics, it is such clothes that contribute to the climate crisis. Of course, we are talking of climate change, we are talking of global warming, among other climatic crises. And according to the same statistics, the textile sector accounts for up to 8% of global green gas emissions. So that is, in case you did not know, probably the clothes that you're wearing, the impact that the clothes that you're wearing can have to the environment, now you know. And now to you, Alex, of course, the world marked, that is a World Environment Day just the other day, and they were talking of beating plastic pollution. How exactly can you say your work contributes to helping, that is Kenya, Africa, and of course globally, to just dealing with the plastic pollution menace?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Yeah, it is true. Kenya alone import more than 200 million kilograms of post-consumer textiles from the global north. Here I mean the Europe, China nowadays, in Asia, Canada, and America. So from various statistics from the OR Foundation, for example, in Ghana, they are saying that 30 to 40% of what is being imported in Kenya is pure trash. Either they're out of size, either they are tainted, either they are torn or ripped, etc. Yeah. So you can imagine the numbers that we are giving, like 30 to 40%, which is quite huge. Yeah. So that's number one. Number two, countries like in the global south, here I mean Africa and especially Kenya, we don't have what we call the collection infrastructure, and also the recyclability to ensure that this textile flow back again into into Europe, and in a nutshell, that's explain why we are existing in the market. So our work now here in Kenya and we also in Lagos, Nigeria, is to collect used textiles and footwear basically for use and recycling. And the question of how we do that, we are providing the public with convenient drop-off point whereby people or the Kenyans can be able to dispose of their items. Yeah. So in shopping malls like Village Market, shopping mall, or the Junction Mall, Capital Center Mall, or Ridgeways Mall, in hospitals such as Mpisha Hospital, in universities such as Strathmore, Riara University, JKUAT, in restaurants such as Two Grapes, Wines and Friends. In Karen, we have drop-off point at Karen Village and also at Opportunity Factory, etc. So we want to ensure that the public can be able to dispose their items in such a manner, anonymously. Yeah. So it's very crucial to set up a collection infrastructure. Otherwise, if we don't do that, then we realize that our all form of waste, including plastic bottles or plastic materials, including textiles, all end up in the landfill. Yeah. But again, to come up to your question about plastic. So at the end of the day, wherever we want to collect them back, we can either upcycle, but it doesn't have value because plastic keeps it's not something you can mix with other organic, for example, fibers like cotton, and you can be able to recycle like t-shirt and t-shirt. That is impossible. Yeah. So the issue of plastic waste, for example, in textile, we should shift from making our textile or our clothes from the synthetic fibers and microplastic, and we should entirely make our clothes from purely 100% cotton. So we are asking like the global brands, there are a lot of global brands, the Adidas, the likes of Nike, the likes of Shein, the likes of Zara, the likes of Louis Vuitton, etc. That if we want to think about the three P's, I mean the people's, the planet and the profit. Yeah. So they should stop to think only about making stuff from the cheap fibers like plastic, because their end goal is profit, making money. Yeah. But again, who suffers? It is the planet Earth that suffers, including me and you. Yeah. So that's why when we founded the act, that's Africa Collect Textile, we had the same mentality in a bigger way to ensure the issue of plastic can be able to be solved. So we cannot keep talking about plastic when we cannot implement. Yeah. So we have to implement, we have to set up the collection infrastructure, but the most important thing is to advocate that the global world should stop making clothes from plastic and to shift entirely to making our textile from 100% cotton. Yeah.
And I like that, because with that we are now looking at sustainable solutions, of course, not just looking at the short-term solutions, of course, when it comes to just dealing with the plastic pollution. And Whitney, of course, from his explanation of how you collect and have different centers of just collecting the textiles, from the areas that you've mentioned, Alex, of course, you're looking at what I've seen, you're looking at the high-end areas. And just looking at, for example, marketplaces like Gikomba, are those areas that probably you will also want to target? Because I want to believe even the sellers there at Gikomba, they do not sell everything. When you go there, of course, you'll always see some clothes that are all over such areas. Maybe
let me help Whitney to answer that. In the next 1 month or 2 months, we will start a collection center at the Gikomba market. Yeah. So that's our business model plan, because everything that comes from the global north end up, Gekomba is one of the largest market in the East Africa, where now the distribution happen. And if you have gone to the Gekomba market, it's purely made out of trash, like in the rivers and in the market it's purely trash. So the reason why we are setting up a collection center at the Gekomba, in order to be able to normalize textile collection at that area, so that we can be able to separate like cotton, because cotton has a demand. We have a lot of businesses asking, in Europe, asking us if you can supply them, for example, with cotton material. And therefore, the Gekomba market is one of the place where in the next maximum 2 months, we should be able to set up a collection center.
All right, and that's great. And now, Whitney, of course, after you've collected, of course, the textiles from the different areas that you've mentioned, what next after collecting?
So once we've collected, there's usually a process that we have. So immediately it's collected by our team. We have a logistics guy who does the collection, and then immediately they come in, they're sorted. So we have 2 categories. We have the wearables and the non-wearables. So even in that wearable category, we have also 2. All right. Like one of our pillars, we have like 3 pillars. So one of our pillars is one, we want to like support the community. So as we are sorting the clothes, there's a children's home called Matthew 25, where we support them. For every 10 kgs of textile we collect, we give them 10 shillings. Also, we provide them with fitting clothes. So what does that mean? They give us a list of clothing items that the children need, and we provide clothing according to what they need. So we also try to support them in various aspects. Like we said, we know that clothes are not the only thing that the children need. There's school fees, there's medical bills, there's books to be bought. So from our from what you give us as the public, the 10 shillings, we contribute because we've done a lot for them. We've helped them rebuild their website. They're able to get donations, so we contribute that way. And then now for the adult clothes, because there's no way we're going to give a 2-year-old clothes that you would wear. So now for the adult clothes, another pillar that we have is we want to encourage the local people to know that not all second-hand clothes need to be imported. We are capable of starting our own local thrift system. So what we do is we sort the clothes, the ones that are still wearable, like the good ones, we put them into mini bills, and then we sell them at a very affordable price. Like we have mini bills that have 300 good clothing items, and then we sell them to women in like rural areas. So why do we do that? We do that so that we can empower women to have like a source of income. They are able to sustain themselves. And then someone would ask, why would you get the bills from ACT and not go to Gekomba itself? So the thing is, our clothes are sorted. You know that if you get that bill, your 300 pieces are good, you can sell them, and then you can get money from that. So now that's what we do with the category that is the wearables. Now for the non-wearables, there are some clothes that you will give us that maybe just have like a little bit of tear. Yes, so those ones are what we upcycle. So yeah, we upcycle the garments into various home products like we have over here. So we have we can do rugs. We are able to do home products like aprons. We have mittens. We have toys that we make for kids. So we do, that's how we are trying to, like help reduce the amount of textile waste that is in the country. Yes.
All right, and now let us just look at, of course, you've mentioned some of the things that you upcycle. You've talked of toys, bags, among other things. So I think we'll just go step by step. I'll just start with the bags. Maybe what material was that exactly?
So apart from just working with individuals in the community, we also reach out to other organizations, for example, like people who are in the security business and like wildlife areas, so wildlife conservation. We all know that uniforms are very sensitive things, so you can't just have your uniform thrown out. Since there is no proper way of disposing uniforms, you find that most of these organizations end up burning them. Yes, and you find we work with SGA and SGA has a lot of employees. I think around, is it 15,000?
More than 19,000 security soldiers.
So now you can imagine if it's, let's just say 19,000, or we round it off to 20,000, and each guard is given 2 uniforms, that's around 40,000 uniforms people are burning. So what we have is we agree with them that they donate the uniforms to us, and then we upcycle them into these fashion-forward backpacks. For example, now like the blue backpack is made out of SGA security uniform, and then the green one is made out of Rangers uniform. So we buy, they give us, and then we make the backpacks, and then we resell it back to them. Yes.
Right, and that is for the bags. Alex, maybe we can do the, can I call them kiondos?
The laundry basket.
Of course, we can do that. From what material did this one come from? And maybe coming up with such, how long does it take, and probably the manpower that is required to do this?
So this one is made out of the khaki trousers or khaki pants, and then the other one is made out of denim or denim jeans pants. Normally we have a group of weavers who normally do this, like it's hand woven. Everything is hand woven. It can take like 4 to 5 days to complete one basket.
And at the end of that, do you sell?
We have distribution shop at Sarit Center through the African Lifestyle Hub shop, and also at the Village Market. So we do have a shop, another distribution shop at the Sandstorm. They own a factory called the Opportunity Factory. So that's how we distribute our items. So we also distribute in Switzerland. In the Netherlands, we do have a distributor in the Netherlands. Of course, we cannot, like for example, we cannot sell the backpacks directly to the Netherlands. So we have a company called Nick and Mick who distribute the backpacks or our items within the Netherlands, Belgium, and Luxembourg. So we cannot directly sell in that market. Only the distributor can do that. So also we have access market to the Germany. So that's how we sell locally, and we also export.
Right, and I like, even as you upcycle, of course, it's also, you've talked about empowering communities, as well as it's also a way of creating job opportunities for the youths as well. Whitney, we can do it's a toy, and the shoes.
Like Alex mentioned before, we have a branch in Lagos, Nigeria. So what we have here, these are refurbished Birkenstocks. You know the way Nigerians are usually very flamboyant with their styles. You find that it's called ashiobi. You find that you're invited to a wedding. The bride and the groom have a specific color of fabric, a specific type of fashion, or like, you're supposed to sew your garment in a specific way. So most of the times you find that those dresses cannot be worn elsewhere. It's even like it's too extravagant for you to go with it to church. So most of these people have them in their closets, and then you find there's a lot of material that is being used. So we collect that material, and then we also collect old Birkenstocks, and then we refurbish them. So these are made from Nigeria. And then these are our fishes, our toys. So mostly why someone would ask, why did you decide to make fish? It's because most of the time you find that the textile waste goes into like rivers, and that pollutes the water. It ends up killing the fish. Also, some people don't know this, but making denim and making like white t-shirt, like white cotton shirts, it consumes a lot of water. Like I think if to make one pair of denim, it's around 7,600 liters of water, or like 76,000. It's a lot of water. So you find that statistics have shown that by around 2034, we might have a serious problem if we don't change like how we are using water in regards to fashion. So this is to remind people that conserve your water. So just be conscious. Not only are you looking good, but you're also hurting the ecosystem.
All right, and that's great for this one. I believe this is also still made of denim.
That's made of denim. So these are our oven mittens. So we have like our home products, oven mittens, and then we also have our aprons, just to help bring sustainability at home, so that you're reminded that that one pair of jeans that you have please don't throw it away, take good care of it, and it can also be, you know, upcycled into something else that you can use at home, so that we help conserve all the natural resources that we have. Yes.
Right, and I love it that the goal is, of course, just conserving the environment. And Alex, to someone who is at home, maybe someone that is wondering, is this something that I can do? Maybe what will they need if maybe, let me say, like a group of young people wants to come together, then do such?
Yeah, I think we call everyone, because the issue of textile waste, it affects me and you, so it affects everyone. And that's the reason why we are going to school, primary school, to educate young kids the importance of you know, recycling, the importance of collecting waste, you know. So yeah, we have done that with the Kyoto school in Kilimani, because we believe then the next generation have an upper hand in, you know, trying to conserve the environment. So whether they are schools, whether they are colleges or institutions of higher learnings, you know, whether they are communities, we ask everyone, to forward all their textile to us, because we do have the solution with them. Yeah.
And talking of course, creating awareness from as young as children in primary school, Whitney, would you say that the public is aware that clothes, especially cotton, among other materials, end up polluting the environment? Would you say that the public is aware of that?
Let me first answer that from a personal perspective. When I met Alex and the team, I was very surprised to find that people don't just recycle or upcycle plastics and paper. Textile can also be reused and repurposed at home. So now my job, I was touched by that. I was like, oh, so I've been here and I don't know, this is what you can do with textile. And then you figure out how much your fashion choices are affecting the environment and the consequences. So from there you realize that there's a large group of people who need to be educated on what you can do with your old clothes, how textile can be upcycled, fashion choices that you should make, and that's where we come in. So we try to push out the message that, you know what, clothes can be repurposed. This is how we're going to do it, and we also try to direct the people to, for those ones who cannot actively upcycle clothes at home, we direct them to our collection points. We tell them, you can find a collection point near you, please go to our website, or we even give them our numbers so that they can reach to us directly. Another way that we are trying to push out the message is we also invite people to come and visit our workshop, and we give them tours, and we teach them this is how textile upcycling happens, and this is how you're supposed to, you know, teach your mind that from the beginning, your fashion choices matter, how you use your textiles, how you store them. Hoarding also is a habit people have. You find people have clothes from high school simply because your body doesn't change, you keep them. So we're trying to push out the message that because, you know, simply because you love something so much doesn't mean like you just keep it and you're not using it. It can be used to do other things. Yes.
Right. Great. And now we have this one here. You said Alex. You said this one takes how long? For the
it depends. You know, this one takes 4 days to complete it, and the rag this one 5. Well, this one is 5 by 7 feet. It takes around 6 days to complete it.
Oh, 6.
Yeah.
I thought it takes a month or so.
No, it takes 6 days to complete it. Like our weaver, when she does this one rag, that's around 8,000. That's what we pay, you know, for one rag. So if she does 4 in a month, that's 32,000. So we believe in employing or giving what we call design job, because you cannot talk about sustainability if you don't talk about ethical fashion. So when you talk about ethical fashion, means you have to pay people well. So you'll be surprised that our institution even pays good rate more. That's why when I came here, I asked you what's the salary scale for people, because in a smaller way, we always want to compare or to benchmark with other people. So we believe in paying people like decently for the effort and work they put it towards this. Yeah.
Just maybe to add on that, he might be shy to talk about it, but our organization mostly focuses on empowering and uplifting women, especially those ones with technical skills. Yeah, that's why I said he might be shy to talk about it. Our entire workforce, it's like split around 70-30, with the number of people working there are women. Yes, and these are women who have like the technical skills, like women who are tailors, like the weaver, like Margaret. She's the one who does these rags, and she's been doing this for like 23 years. Yes, so that's what we are trying to do. We're not just looking for people who went to, you know, fashion school or whatever. We're looking for people who have this skill and they're able to provide like a certain skill set. They're able to contribute to the, you know, to contribute to the workforce, contribute towards saving the environment, and of course, like he says, we also have to provide decent wages. Yes.
It's just like any other organization with its proper structure, like with a board, with the management up to the lowest job cadre. So we have like a team of designers. We have a digital marketing person like Whitney, because we poach Whitney, by the way, from the Standard Media groups. So you can imagine. We have other people like Alma who was working, you know, with Heineken brand, for example, and you know Heineken is one of the biggest brand in the world, you know, manufacturing beer. So we believe we believe in brains and we believe in talents, and you know that's what we believe in, and that's what we employ. Yeah.
Right, and now that you've said Margaret is the one who does this.
Oh yeah.
Right. Now that Alex mentions that you'll pay her like 8,000 for doing this, how much would you sell this one for?
Yeah, we sell per square foot, and you'll be surprised this rag you cannot purchase. You know, it's for high end. It's very, it's not cheap. It's not cheap. I will not lie. So this rag will go to almost 60K. For 5x7 rag, you can imagine.
So I'm stepping at 60,000.
Yeah, it's not cheap because it's not cheap because we, of course, everything goes with costing. You can imagine if we cost item in terms of overhead cost. I mean the utility, the water, the labor, for example, and then we have to put our markup because these are, you know, it's an organization, it's a private limited company, or rather a social impact enterprise. And we have to be, you know, to be profitable for us to be able to keep paying people, you know, decent wages. And that's why they're not cheap. And that's why you will see why we, for example, our shops in Sarit or even at Village Market, or why, for example, we're exporting, for example, to Europe. So you will understand why we are doing that.
Yeah, definitely. And now, just as we wind up, Whitney, anything that you
Let me explain, like, for example, like this green backpack. These were pants collected from the Shedrick Wildlife Trust. Shedrick Wildlife Trust, these are the owners of the elephant orphanage in Kenya. Yeah, so they conserve the elephant and the rhinos because you know they believe that these are, if they cannot do that, these animals may end up being extinct. So we collect their pants, for example. That's what we do, and then we upcycle this into backpack. For example, we have a team of designers who came up with this kind of design. And then we sell it back to them, yeah, and then they sell it to their backers. So the profit they generate, they pull back to the, you know, to the organization to conserve more you know, more animals, or you know, the issue of sustainability. So it's a win-win between Shedrick Wildlife versus us. Yeah.
All right, great. Whitney, any other thing maybe that you'll just want to add as we wind up?
Oh yes, so for anyone who wants to learn more about us, please feel free to follow us on our social media platforms. We are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, we are on Twitter, we are on LinkedIn. Also we are on YouTube, and to find out more, like if you want to find out where you have that spirit of decluttering, yes, and you want to find out where your drop-off point is, you can visit our website, you can find where your nearest location is. Our contacts are also there. In case you have so much, or like the drop-off point is not near your home, you have our contacts there. You can call us and we will come and pick it directly from home at no cost to you. Yes, you just give us the clothes we take. Yes.
Wonderful. Alex?
Yeah, definitely. Whitney has mentioned about our social media handles. Instagram, africa.collect.textiles. And on Facebook is Africa Collect Textiles. Twitter, the same, Africa Collect Textiles. LinkedIn, Africa Collect Textiles Limited. So, yeah, I'll note first is to thank you for giving us this opportunity so that we can be able to explain to Kenyans so that they can be able to understand why we are doing this. And they can all forward their textile to, to us. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. And of course, you're doing a great job. Mine will always be not of course the money bit of it, but the environmental conservation bit of it. And of course, you are doing a great job, of course, at Africa Collect Textiles. All right, thank you so much for that. And we call it an end right here at Eco's Diary. Of course, this evening we were looking at upcycling, that is a textile waste. And in case you're wondering why we were bringing to you this particular episode of Eco's Diary in terms of just conserving the environment, I'll just give you once again statistics according to the United Nations Environmental Program as far as the textile industry pollution that is to the environment. And according to UNEP, that's yearly 460 billion worth of clothes that can still be worn are discarded. And according to experts, this of course contributes to the climate crisis that we are facing globally. And according to the same statistics, 8% of the textile sector accounts for up to 8% of global greenhouse emissions. And of course, companies and stakeholders and individuals like Africa Collect Textile are coming in handy as far as upcycling the textile waste is concerned. So once again, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that this has been an eye-opener to you who was not aware that clothes can lead to, of course, greenhouse emissions as per UNEP. So thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Aida Monzati. See you again on Tuesday as we continue being great stewards of environmental conservation.